One of the biggest thing that stops people from actually making content is simply the fact that they just want everything to be perfect. The setup should be perfect. The background should be perfect, and they should speak flawlessly. And that is one of the biggest things that stops people from actually creating content in the first place. Like they think like, I'll save up some money and actually buy a nice camera, and then only I'll record my first video. But it's like it was never about the content, the visuals of the content. It was never about that. It was about what you say in that video, and what kind of message are you putting on the video. Or maybe if it's a different kind of entertainment content, if you're actually trying to entertain people by the resources that you have with yourself at that current moment. For me, I have a cheap audio microphone, which I bought from an online store. It was a cheap one, and I think it's enough for me right now. And obviously, I'm recording on this shitty Chinese phone, and from the front camera, because the back camera isn't working. And so it is one of those things that is just simply, you just have to start making videos with the things you have with yourself, which could be really cheap, which could be you feel like is not the best quality. But it does not really matter, because like even with the biggest creators, if you watch their first videos, it is always some, just a bad camera, or they were camera shy, all that sort of. It is never going to be good. Your first video will never be good. You have to actually realize that. And the barrier or the resistance that people have with making their first video is perfection, like I said. And you just have to get started, and things will improve by itself. Maybe you'll not see growth in views. Like I'm not seeing any views improvement from my videos, but what I'm seeing is improvement in my articulation skills of, because it is my second language. And it's not easy. I go blank after like speaking for a minute, but it has slowly but steadily improved a bit. I can say like 10 sentences more now, or like 5 sentences, and that's a big improvement, just in 21 days. I think I posted like, I think 22 videos, I feel like, right? So in those time, it's a short period of time, and it's like I've slightly improved, and that is a big win in my book. And it's a win-win at the end of the day, because you're not losing any kind of money while creating content. You're just going to improve. Maybe it's by just growth and money, if you're lucky enough to just get good views, and all that sort of stuff. That is nice. But the other kind of win that you get from making videos is simply just improving your communication skills, if you're making these kind of content right now. And it is simply just you improving your skills over the time, over a longer period of time. And things like views and a nicer camera, audio will, I think, come by itself. Just have to be consistent with making videos that you like to do, you like to make. And just try your best not to focus on things such as a good camera and stuff like that, and views, obviously, because the intention of people that actually want the best camera to start is simply just to attract viewers. It's not to make the best content. It is not to just speak about things they like and do what they can with the resources. It's just simply to attract viewers. That's the main goal that people have with when they want like expensive cameras and stuff. They just want views, and a lot of views, and maybe money, right? So I think that's a really bad mindset, because when you don't get views, and things don't go the way you thought it was supposed to go, because you thought that having a good camera would get you views for sure, then you would actually stop posting videos, and you will never see the growth. But it's like with me, like it's a shitty camera, I know, the audio is not the best, but still I'm trying my best, and I'm just speaking things that I want to speak about. I speak about things I like to speak, I like to share, and my face being visible enough and my audio being audible enough for you to understand is enough. It does not have to be the best audio, it does not have to be the best camera from my perspective. All I'm trying to improve is my communication skills, as well as just sharing things what I feel like to other people, and hoping that you guys relate to what I'm saying and maybe get some useful information from my perspective, what I've done these past 20 days and what I felt like while making this video. And it is simply just doing things you like to do, talking about things you like to do, and it shouldn't feel like any kind of resistance. So, and every creator was bad in their first few videos. So the battery went down on my phone. Okay, so like I was saying, the skills is the only thing that will take you far enough, not the cameras, not the audio, not the whole setup, and it will come over time eventually, but now just work with the things you have, the resources you have, and you will eventually get what you want, along with the skill you developed from a shitty setup. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say.